Hey guys, alright, so we have the information here for this year's, I guess, part 1 of the Legends Festival for 2021 on DBZ Space. So it's been a while since we've been able to do this, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be splitting up this breakdown into 2 different videos. This video is going to be talking about the Dragon Ball Super BROLY side of the celebration, and then I'll do a separate video talking about the future Trunks saga stuff. So this will be going over the Broly stuff, and then the next video will be going over the Trunks saga stuff. So let's just dive right into it. We're going to start off with the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, first ever tag character in Dragon Ball Legends. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do this, because it looks like they made this transform button here, and that's technically going to be Vegeta. So we'll be able to like swap back and forth here. But we'll start with Goku. First thing I like to do is I like to compare the stats here. So Goku is at 248, so he's pretty balanced actually. 248, 248. And he's at 166 defense for strike and then 165 defense for a blast. I'm comparing him against Gogeta Blue because Gogeta Blue has always been a pretty balanced character. Gogeta definitely has much higher offenses. Like these are way higher than this one. But the defenses on this guy is a little bit higher, and I assume the kit on this guy, or these guys technically, is just going to be way better than Gogeta's, but we'll see. Alright, so let's see what this guy is able to do. So main ability technically isn't a main ability. It's whenever you fill up your tag gauge, you can click on the icon. It sort of like has the same functionality as a main ability, but it just allows you to swap between the 2 characters, right? Goku and Vegeta. That's how they built the tag character. So switch to Vegeta. Reverse his own element factor, so obviously they're purple. They're going to be powerful or strong against green and weak against yellow. So the reversing the element factor just means that they're going to be the opposite of that. They're going to be strong against yellow and weak against green. Restores own health by 15% and ki by 30. Increases own arts card draw speed and then 10% to special move damage inflicted. This looks like it's stackable based off of what I'm seeing here. So you can just swap back and forth and just keep stacking your special move damage. So that seems like that's what they want you to do with that. But actually this is pretty powerful because every time you swap, I mean, I don't know how often you're going to be able to do this. Like I don't know how quickly it's going to charge up, but being able to heal 15% and get 30 ki in the middle of a combo, like you'll be able to extend your combo with this. The healing is obviously going to add up to a lot. Like I don't know, you can be able to swap 20 times in a match. Like I don't know how this is going to work right now. So not really going to be able to effectively evaluate how good this unit's going to be until we get our hands on them in game. So all right, first unique ability here is the Azure Guardians. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts or when this character enters the battlefield via tag switch. 90% damage. So right off the bat they get 90% damage and 50% to strike damage inflicted. So keep in mind this is Goku. So already at 140% to strike damage inflicted. That's pretty insane. Then they get 40% damage reduction, and then they get -5 to strike arts cost. That's -5 is actually not like insignificant at all. So that's pretty good. Effects reset when tag switching to Vegeta. While this character on the battlefield, applies the following effects to self when causing a character with a revives when health reaches 0, effect to revive. Or I guess this should be effect to activate. Increases own Dragon Balls by 2 and reduces enemies' Dragon Balls by 2. Okay, this is a very powerful anti-revive mechanic. I actually think this is the second best anti-revive mechanic in the game after Gogeta's. So very nice effect right there. Second unique ability is the Ultimate Combination. Reduces damage received by 20% until combo ends when changing cover. So that's effectively a 60% cover cut because you're getting this in addition to the 40. Evades enemies' attack if a cover change is performed against their blast arts. Yes, we use a special cover change against blast arts. And then the following effects occur every time this character uses a strike or blast arts. Restores own health by 3%. Okay, so he's healing by 3% every time you use a card, which is going to be effective considering that you have card draw speed if you're tagging in. Then he has -3 to own special move arts cost, activates 5 times, and it looks like that's just a permanent buff. So you can get, what is that, -15 to your blue card cost. You can have a 35 costing blue card. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10% of damage received. This is a really powerful effect that I think people are going to overlook a lot because this is basically the Ultra Vegeta effect. right? Whenever Ultra Vegeta uses a card, he inflicts the enemy with damage received debuffs. So that's one of the reasons why he's able to hit so hard. So this is going to be pretty effective, I think. The following effects occur when this character evades an enemy attack with a vanishing step. So he draws a green card. He shortens allies' subcount by 1. That's kind of similar to Zenkai Blue Trunks, which is actually a pretty powerful effect. So I think Trunks is definitely more than 1 count, but it's not bad. Okay, so far this guy's kit looks really good. The blue card is going to be the Cosmic Rush. Deals massive impact damage, applies the following effects up on activation. 70% to Vanishing Gauge Restoration. What? That is quite good. That is very good. And then they apply attribute upgrade minus 50% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 3 counts. And they nullify enemies' endurance. So this is a pretty good blue card. The only thing that I'm not seeing on this blue card is just extra damage. Like, they don't get, like, 50% extra damage inflicted when the blue card's activated. But the extra damage they're getting for this blue card is coming from this, right? What looks to me is this is a permanent stackable buff. Every time you tag in and out, you're going to be getting 10% more damage. And this is going to completely depend on how often you're able to do that, which I don't know right now because I haven't used them yet. So this looks like a really good blue card. I mean, this right here is it's pretty good. So the green card is Overflowing Valor. So this is draw a special move arts card next. Oh, because they can actually draw the blue card from this. Randomly destroys 1 enemy card, and then reduces enemy key by 40, restores own key by 25, and then 20% strike damage inflicted for 20 counts. And this is the reason why this is a good green card, is because this is a stop time green card, which works really well with this blue card. And the fact that you draw the blue card from this as well means you want to pretty much just float into mid-range, pop the green, and then if the enemy's going for, if you see that exclamation point, you just click this, right? And then you just kill the enemy, pretty much, right? Alright, so then they got like this buffing Strike and Blast card, and they're buffing Sun Family, Vegeta Clan, God Key, and sagas from the movies. Okay, so it's 35% to Sun Family, Vegeta Clan, God Key, both offenses, Strike Attack and Blast Attack, and then 18% to movies, Strike Defense. Yeah, this is a crazy Z ability. Think about how many times you're going to put this character on your bench. Like, every Sun Family character, every Vegeta Clan, and then every God Key. Like, that's pretty much like 90% of the game or something. Alright, let's see what Vegeta is going to do differently here. So it looks like the stats aren't changing unless this is just not changing on the website for whatever reason. Yeah, so this is the exact same effect. So Vegeta is getting blast damage instead of strike. So it looks like Vegeta is going to be more blast oriented, whereas Goku is going to be more strike oriented. So that's an interesting dynamic, because typically when you are building teams, you want to focus on the strengths of these characters. But this is a character that's technically considered a melee type, right? He's a melee type character right here. So you would more often than not want to go for strike damage, right? And strike Z abilities and strike equipment. But it looks like they're able to do both, because obviously Goku wants to do strikes and Vegeta wants to do blasts. So I guess it doesn't matter how you build this unit. You can just sort of throw them into a team that's strike oriented, or you can throw them into a team that's blast oriented and then build them around that. So they're pretty flexible in that regard. So everything else is the same, except he gets minus 10% to blast arts cost as well. Minus 10? That's a lot. Okay. This is the same. He gets a cover change against strike arts. So remember, Goku gets one against blast, Vegeta gets one against strike. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a strike or blast art attack. So he also restores 3% health, he gets 5 ki back, and then he gets 20% to ki recovery. And that activates 5 times. So it looks like you can stack up this buff with Vegeta. So you can get 100% extra ki recovery with Vegeta, and you can get up to minus 15 to special move arts cost with Goku. And I assume what happens is if you swap between the two of them, they're going to retain these buffs. So that's pretty interesting. And then while this character's in the battlefield, applies the following effects when enemy switches characters. Okay. So you draw blast arts and you get 20 ki. This actually reminds me a little bit of Evolution Blue Vegeta, where like you gain cards and ki when the enemy switches out. That's actually a pretty powerful effect, right? Considering, you know, every time you're using a card, you're getting like these buffs as well. So I'm actually, this guy looks like he's gonna be pretty good. Okay, so actually Vegeta's blue card is a little bit different. The Cosmic Shooter deals massive impact damage. 20. So he actually does get a buff. He gets 25% of special move damage inflicted for 3 counts, and then he gets everything else is. So the only thing that's different really is the fact that he's getting a little bit of extra damage on the blue card, but then Goku's getting 70% of Vanish gauge restoration. I think in most cases this is probably going to be the better choice when you compare the 2 blue cards, but if you don't need your Vanish, like obviously Vegeta is going to be better here. So, all right, and then the green card is Bursting Brazen Power. Draw a special move arts card next. That's the same. Gets 40 ki. What did Goku get? He gets 20 ki, or 25 ki. So Vegeta actually gets more ki. 30% blast damage inflicted for 20 counts. Then he gets he gets like the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta effect on this, which is basically just you can't have your combo disrupted by special cover changes abilities. And then he gets minus 50 to health restoration on the enemy as a debuff. Interesting. So it's going to depend completely on the circumstance in the fight of whether you want to be switched in with Vegeta or Goku. This character is going to be very, very difficult to master. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very, very difficult. Because keep in mind, you basically have 2 characters in one, right? You have all this for Goku, but then you have all this for Vegeta, and most of it's the same, but some of it's slightly different. So we will see how this is going to play out, but it's going to take a while to get the hang of this. So we'll see how that works. Next we have BROLY. So he's a green melee type character. So I'm comparing him with Nappa. Nappa's a very recent melee type character. Very, very hyper focused on being melee type, right? I mean, he's basically 0 blast attack. But his defenses are pretty good. Like, this character is actually really, really solid. So 253, 217. Broly's at 260 and 226. Okay, so Broly's just straight up winning already. The Nappa's at 165, 164. Broly's at 164. So they're Broly pretty much just has better stats than Nappa. Except obviously his health is a little bit lower. But Broly's just better offensively. 260 strike attack, by the way, is basically like Legends Limited levels of offensive stats. So that's pretty good. All right, that's a lot here. Okay. The main ability is Fistful of Rage. Draws a strike card next. Restores on health by 15% and ki by 30. 40% to the next strike arts damage inflicted. And then he has the the LF Blue Broly, LF Majin Vegeta purple hit effect, where he nullifies special actions from the opponent for 30 counts. 30 counts is a lot. So that's actually a really, really good main ability here. I like this main ability a lot. The first unique is Uncontrollable Battle Instinct. He gets 20% damage inflicted against Saiyans, which is pretty common. And then applies the following effects when battle starts. He gets 60% to next special move damage inflicted, reduces damage received by 25% for 60 counts, minus 25 to special move arts cost for 60 counts. Okay, so he really wants to land that blue card. And then applies the following effects when this character enters the battlefield. He draws a blue card. So again, it's really, really centered around using that blue card. He gets 25 ki, which is going to happen every time he switches in, which is good. 80% damage is nice, and then reduces damage received by 30%. Okay, pretty solid. Prodigious Progress is the second unique ability. While this character is on the battlefield, applies the following effects to self every time an enemy uses an arts card. 15% of strike damage inflicted up to 60 whenever they use a strike. Blast is the same for Blast. They use a green card. He gets 15% health and 40 ki back. And then the blue card is 15% of special move damage inflicted. Okay. And then an ultimate or an awakened card, he draws a blue card next. So I'm not really the biggest fan of this mechanic where like the enemy, like you get stronger depending on what the enemy's doing, because you can't control that. You have no control over that. This is like the Super Vegeta syndrome, right? Super Vegeta, a lot of his damage is based off of your enemy using cards. But like if your enemy's using a ton of cards like constantly throughout the battle, like you're gonna be losing, right? The whole goal of this game is for you to gain priority and, like, you know, and beat down your enemy before they do it to you. So if your enemy's using like all these cards and buffing you up, like they're beating you. So I feel like this could definitely be an interesting like mechanic here for this Broly, but we'll see. I'm not really the biggest fan of how this mechanic has been historically in the game, so we'll see. What is this? Strike Arts Card Draw Speed. Increases own Arts Card Draw Speed by 1 level for 5 counts. Wow. Okay. We've definitely never seen that before. That's pretty ridiculous. 5 counts? I would have expected this to be like 3 counts. 5? That's not balanced. Are they okay with this? So that's basically just permanent 2 times card draw speed, is it not? Okay, well, he's never gonna run out of cards. The blue card is the Revenge Order. Massive impact damage, 25% to special move damage inflicted, yep, and then blast armor. So I mean, again, his blue card's gonna be hitting for a metric ton of damage, right? He has this. Actually, that's the main reason why it's gonna hit hard, because he has this in combination with this, because it's basically 140% to special move damage, plus this, so it's 165%, I guess, which is insane. The green card is 30 key, randomly destroys 2 enemy cards, and then 2 attribute downgrades, minus 50% health restoration, and plus 2 to sub count. That's annoying. Okay. I think he holds 2 strike cards, yeah. This guy's going to be really good, and the reason why he's going to be really good is because of this. So sagas from the movies or powerful opponent, base strike attack and defense, and then 18% to blast defense for characters that are both sagas from the movies and powerful opponent. I feel like this Broly is going to be pretty solid. I do. So, pretty cool. We have Frieza here. I mean, I'm not... don't really have too high hopes for him. Historically, defense-type EX units haven't been that great, with like the one exception being the blue Jiren, who actually is pretty solid, but we'll see. Very, very low stats. Look at that. 234 and 231 at 14 stars. Defenses aren't even like that special. They're just like good. they're not like amazing. Alright, so the main ability is it draws a blue card, gets 50 key, and gets card draw speed for 30 counts. I wouldn't really call that like a crazy main ability. Unique ability is Despicable Tactics, applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 50% damage, it's an outdated number, and then 20% damage reduction is also outdated. Applies the following effects to enemy when this character enters the battlefield, reduce key by 20, and destroys 1 card. That's actually pretty good cover changing ability right there, because destroying cards is like what makes Future Gohan as good as he is, right? You just stop the combo. It's like what Vados does as well. And then on top of that, reducing key is pretty good too. So this part is solid. Obsession with Revenge is the next unique ability. Reduces damage received from tag Saiyan by 10%. Okay. Applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield according to the number of defeated battle members. 0 battle members, so he's getting 20% damage and then 20% damage reduction. And then that goes up to 40, 20, and then 60 and 30. So if he's the last man standing, he's going to have an extra 30% damage reduction on top of this. So it's 50. So we could have 60% damage reduction against Saiyan, so he's the last man standing, but it's like, what? I don't know, man. This does not look good for Frieza. The blue card is the Surprise Death Beam, deals massive pierce damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation. 20% of special move damage inflicted, and it nullifies endurance and has blast armor. So it's actually not a bad blue card whatsoever. It's pretty solid, actually. And then the green card is 15% healing. Already that's pretty solid, actually. 20% damage inflicted, and then nullifies own own attribute downgrades and normal conditions for 15 counts. I wish this gave key, man. If this also gave like 30 key, this would be a really solid green card. Lineage of Evil or movies, strike, attack, and defense, 32%. Yeah, I don't know. They had to do Frieza like this. I'm not a huge fan of him, honestly. So we have the banner, and for some reason on the DBZ space, it doesn't actually show the LF characters on here, but just to reiterate what this banner should be, it is definitely going to have pity, so the summon coin mechanic is definitely going to be here. And then, as you guys were there for the stream yesterday, you'll see that, sparking rates are 30% instead of 10%, and you get 3 times the Z power. So for instance, if you pull the LF Goku and Vegeta on this banner, instead of getting 600 Z power for them, you'll be getting 1800 Z power. That's ridiculous. So the one thing I do want to reiterate as well is just because the sparking rates are now up to 30% from 10% for this banner, I don't think that means the Legends Limited pull rate is going to increase from 0.5 to 1.5. I think the Legends Limited pull rate will still be 0.5, but you'll be able to get triple Z power if you pull the LFs. So still a win. Still a massive win here. So then we have this other banner here. This is the Legends Festival Summon. So I guess this is just like the normal banner that's going to be up for the duration of Legends Festival. There's a lot of characters on here, like a lot. Look at this. Like, I'm honestly, I think it's pretty much every single sparking that's ever released in the game is probably on this banner. But 3 sparking characters guaranteed per multi. That is pretty insane. Plus, you have characters like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's on here. You have Corrupted Merge Zamasu on here. You have the Purple Revival. Look how many LFs are on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 16. Then you have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 LFs are on this banner, it looks like. So, yeah. It's a lot of characters on here. A lot of Zenkai characters that are still really good, like Blue Bardock, Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku, that like Green Fat Boo, like Demon King Piccolo. There's a lot of older Zenkai Awakenable characters on here that will be really good for you. So actually not a terrible banner to summon on if you get 3 sparking guaranteed characters. That's good. But that's going to wrap up this video going over the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie side of the celebration. I am going to jump into another recording right now talking about the Future Trunks saga side of things. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.